Hey, real estate agents, it's Jeff Underwood, host of the Weekly Closer, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. How's it going, Joey?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. We've got an exciting guest with us today, all the way from Florida. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. Pinky.
That was a long flight,
Pinky.
I'm telling you. No.
You're
so Pinky
awesome.
She is awesome.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Sue Pinky Benson with RE/MAX out in Naples is joining the Weekly Closer today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
How are you doing? I mean, I see that you must be doing awesome. Gosh, you got a lot of pink in the background there, and everything's going on. Palm trees and sunshine.
You got to be consistent with the pink. You know, if you're going to wear it, you can't just wear it one day a week. You got to wear it all the time.
Absolutely. Well, I think I even remember seeing you post something about a car.
Yes, I have a pink Beetle. Yep, 2017, one of 300 in the country, I'll have you know. It's a convertible. It's super cute. Has like a Burberry print inside.
That is
nice.
Cool. I don't know if I would look good. Joey, would I look good in a pink
I
Beetle?
Think you
I don't
would.
know about that.
Convertible. With the convertible down.
Give it a try.
Yeah, as long as I wear my beanie with the mask, I think I'm good. Right? All right. So, Pinky, let's jump into this. I want the listeners to know how long you've been in real estate, and also I'm intrigued by the fact that you've made a move to a different place. So essentially starting from scratch, I would say, in a completely different market. So share a little bit about that.
Well, let's see. I've been in real estate nearly a decade. I think it was like 9 years is what I'm going up on. So I was north of Tampa, which is probably about 3 hours from where I currently am. So it's not like I'm working in the same neck of the woods even. Completely different market.
Okay.
Went from a place that was a small town, 400 agents, to a place that has 6,000 agents. Not that they're all active, mind you, but they hang their license and pretend like they are.
Everybody knows an agent. Is that what I'm hearing?
Everybody, yeah. Like even at my own dinner table, somebody knows an agent besides me.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of crazy.
We kind of have that here. I think we're at 40,000.
Yeah,
Phoenix,
we're at 40,000.
Like
It is crazy. And, I went from a place where like the median price range of a 3-bedroom home was about 120 to a place where it's like 400,000. So, major adjustments in multiple communities versus like, my old home, like I had like 5 gated communities. Here, I can't like literally spit without hitting one. So it's everywhere.
So do you do that thing where you have to just wait behind a car that goes in and then you just make your way in? To these gated communities to check
those gates are fast. They're fast.
See, here they're pretty slow around here. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I really like what you're doing. I'm following you on Facebook a lot, and you're doing some pretty cool stuff with not only your personal page but your business page. A lot of it has to do with video and live streaming, correct?
That would be correct. Yep. I'm a big video hog, I might say. I'm sure I annoy people out there. But, my background, I actually have a degree in broadcast journalism from Florida Southern College. Got to give my props out there. Yeah. And that said, I obviously have always liked the camera, and it's just been kind of a natural transition for me as we've evolved on Facebook from, our regular old just putting up a text to pictures of dinner. So now we're live at the dinner table. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely we have. So you've only been a couple of years now, not even 2 years yet, right? In Naples?
Not even 2 years. It'll be 2 years in August that I moved to Naples. And technically, I didn't hang my real estate license here until January. So it was just a year in January that I started actively working Naples as a real estate.
A year now. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, it's been quite the transition. And, a lot of agents out there, whether they're getting into it first time or they're starting over, it is overwhelming, and it's a lot of volunteer work. And what I mean is that you're not getting paid and you're putting out a lot of effort, and you're like, when is my payday going to come? And it can be very discouraging. I mean, I've had like a lot of downtime, during the last year and a half to be like, what am I doing? Is this ever going to work? And just got to hang in there.
Well, a lot of experts say that it takes a while, right? I mean, you're doing something like Gary Vee talks a lot about being that person known in your area, right? And it takes some time.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I'm a dedicated follower of Mr. V. But he's like 24 to 30 months. If you listen to Tony Robbins, same thing. They'll tell you anytime that you're starting a business, you got to have 2 years to 30 months. So, I mean, it's definitely a long-term dedication. I think so many times we just think we're going to get our real estate license and a buyer's going to walk in the door and then a seller's going to knock on the door and we're going to be set for the rest of our career. And, that's not how it works, especially if you're in it for the long haul. You have got to put in time, dedication, and a lot of volunteer time to get that off the ground.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree. What about so in Naples, in the Naples area there, you're using a lot of live video, a lot of Facebook Live to really highlight the community. Tell us a little bit about the community itself. I've never been to Naples. I think I've maybe driven through Tampa. It looks nice. I mean, I remember the first time I saw you doing Facebook Live. I think it was one of the first ones I saw. It was a while back. I think you were on the beach. You were walking on the beach, and I think you were asking the people that were watching for, what was it? Some ideas, I guess, that you could share. Using Facebook Live. Yeah, I think you were saying, hey, anything you would like for me to cover around the Naples area? I think I threw out a bunch of stuff like, I don't know, go kayaking. I think I said use the GoPro and do some parasailing and all kinds of stuff, whatever, right?
You saw my video where I was in a kayak and a paddleboard. And
yeah, so you're definitely doing some of those things. But how has that... Are you starting to reap some of the, not rewards yet necessarily, but are you starting to see that people are getting to know who you are?
Yeah, they know the brand. I mean, I can go to events, and when I introduce myself, I do introduce myself as Pinky. I'll say I'm Sue Pinky Benson, and they'll be like, "Oh, Pinky." Then I'm like, "Yeah, Pinky knows Naples," and that you can see the the recognition come across them. So it's definitely worked, and and that was the thing, is that when I first started Pinky Knows Naples, it was just, it was Instagram and it was Facebook, and it was just the very basics of I'm on my beach walk in the morning, I'm taking a picture highlighting, the beautiful beach. People love those pictures, so they always do really well. And they're visual, you just embrace your community instantaneously. Then I wanted to learn about my community. So, as a new agent in the area, I needed to get out and get to know it. So I literally I walked down Fifth Avenue, which is our downtown area, 3rd Street, which is also our historic area. And I've literally had my phone out in front of me, talking to myself. People probably thought I was a lunatic, but here I'm doing these Facebook Lives and, and I'm talking to people and I'm not interviewing anybody. So it's not even just I'm now at the point where I do interview other people and I bring them onto the show and I have it kind of lined up like you do. But in the beginning, that's not what I was doing. In the beginning, I was researching, facts, wherever I was going, and I was giving out tidbits of information, and, and then it evolved to me interviewing businesses. And I mean, that's really where it started to take off, was once you start embracing your community, they embrace you back, and, they want to share your stuff. And, I've seen a lot of realtors going that route, which I'm really encouraged by, because we do have a lot out there to offer. But I think sometimes, they get too stiff about it, and they're like, yes, I'm here with the local Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. Isn't he lovely? And it's like, you guys know them on a personal basis. This is Facebook, and we got to remember that it's not just, we're here to give you the commercial. We're here to tell you something fun that you can take away and be like, hey, if I was going to buy a Mercedes, I'd go to that place, right. So have fun with it.
Yeah, I know that when I was doing that same thing, interviewing businesses, my first probably 3 to 5 of them, I was newscaster Joey all of a sudden. Hey, everyone, this is Joey Sampaga. I tried to be the newscaster. I tried to be professional looking. And then I realized, people don't want to see that, because if they did, they'd just watch TV, right? Exactly. So if you're yourself, which you are, I've watched your videos. You're awesome. I love when you interviewed the mermaid, by the way.
I love that one. I don't know why.
Yeah. So whenever we're doing these things, we definitely need to be ourselves. Now, Pinky, I do have a couple questions for you. Number one, did you have your brand prior to going into real estate, like the Pink brand? And then number two, what made you decide to choose interviewing small businesses?
Well, on the pink front, I did not have it previously. Like when I first got into real estate, I was with my partner, my fabulous Shauna, Shauna sells sunshine. And we were a team, and I was first starting out and she was showing me the ropes, and it was in the horrible economy. And I realized very quickly that there was a lot of Susans in real estate business, and there was like 5 in my office alone. So I wanted a way to embrace myself as, like, okay, so if they call up and they don't know my name because buyers barely know their own names, like they may not remember mine, how could they identify me? And so Legally Blonde came into play. I really liked the way that movie came together, and all the pink, and it was literally like a pink light bulb went off in my head, and I said, I'm just going to start wearing pink. And and then one of my clients started calling me the Pink Lady, and then it was the Pink Lady of real estate. And so when I came to Naples, it just kind of it shortened it down. Pinky Knows Naples, made it simple so that it's not just like, hey, I'm here for real estate. I'm here for your community. And how it came to that, I started interviewing businesses. My intentions were just to expand the brand. And I think that that's really what you always have to be doing, is evolving yourself. And because if you don't evolve, you dissolve. That's my big thing. And,
I like that.
It's just the businesses started, it was just really casual. Like I'd be on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram's a great place to interact because it's not as busy. And you can say, hey, do you want to be on an episode of Pinky Knows Naples? And by then, I had already established myself as who I was. Like they could go online and see what I was talking to myself. So then they could, oh, well, she could probably interview us. And then once I got a few under my belt and businesses recognized like, oh, well, she's decent. She's not going to come on here and slam us. It's not some sort of weird, propaganda piece. And because I don't really get on there and go, hey, buy a house, buy a house. I just, say, hey, think pink, and if you need anything for your real estate needs, call me.
Sure. So you're saying that you use Instagram more than Facebook? Is that what I'm hearing, or?
Nope. I use Instagram, Snapchat, Insta Stories, Facebook. I go all over the place, but I will say that when you're looking to interact with businesses, for some reason, especially in my community, I tend to get more eyeballs on Instagram than on Facebook. I think Facebook's very busy, so especially the bigger companies, they get tagged a lot in posts, whereas Instagram, you're not getting tagged as much, so there's a little bit more of a quiet, and you can show a business really easy by taking a picture or a quick video and putting it on on Instagram, and all of a sudden, they're paying attention to you as much as you are paying attention to them.
Makes sense.
Wow. All right.
Good stuff.
You were talking about walking on the beach, and I remember reading a story about a lady down in Hawaii, and this was when video first started coming out, and you hear about people start calling it a vlog instead of a blog, right? It's a video blog, so they call it a vlog. Right. And there were these things called Vloggy Awards. And I remember reading this story about this lady in Hawaii who won like multiple years in a row for these Vloggy Awards. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe she was some type of psychologist or life coach or something.
Oh, nice.
And what she would do is she would walk on the beach with her dog, and so you could hear the waves, and everything, right? So it was soothing. Her husband would carry the camera and walk backwards to record her episodes. But that's what she did. And so when you said that, I'm picturing, how soothing it is for people. Everybody's trying to escape the 9-to-5 rat race, right? Or the 8-to-6 or whatever it ends up being, especially in New York and Chicago and all the cold places. And then here you are on the beach, with white sand and palm trees and
talking to mermaids.
And people just are like, oh, man.
There she is again. That's C. Shelley, the mermaid. You can follow her on Facebook.
Okay. C. Shelley, is that what it is?
Shelley, yep.
That's
there
funny.
you go.
All right.
Yeah,
I can see you doing the very same thing, right? I mean, everybody really, really loves the beach, I think. So.
Well, I think so, but I think every community has something. And you talk about mermaids. Here's what's funny. The old neighborhood that I used to work, or the old town that I lived in, is actually Weeki Wachee. And Weeki Wachee is home of the live mermaids. It's one of the very first amusement parks in Florida. So, right there, you have something you can embrace in your town. And every town has something. And that's what you have to take a step back and look and be like, okay, what is it that my town has that people might embrace? Because if you're in snow, I might crave going skiing. You never know what your audience wants. And you just have to be that person. You got to be, very aware of content that's going around on you every day and embracing that and just being like, oh yeah, but vlogging's huge and it has taken off majorly. And, I have a very private Instagram page, and I encourage a lot of people that are just getting into video to look into setting up a private Instagram page, because it's a great way to make yourself do videos every day and nobody else has to see them. But what I noticed, even with my as comfortable as I am in front of the camera, I noticed that when I started vlogging I have a very personal subject. I'm sure you're aware, I lost my son about 2 years ago, and I wanted a place where I could articulate what I was feeling. But I didn't want to be, judged by the rest of the world. And so I have, very close friends and family members who follow me on that page. But when I started doing that, and it was like a diary to me, and I'm really just doing it for my own accountability so that maybe years from now I can go back and digest what I've been through. And it made me more articulate in the way that I used Instagram for my work as well, and embracing my community. So that's why I say make yourself an Instagram page. You get 60 seconds to do a video. And if you're just practicing, nobody else is judging you. And it's going to make you more comfortable in front of the camera. And you'll find that you're like, oh, wow, suddenly I'm a whole lot better than I used to be.
Yeah. That's true. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And sorry, by the way, too.
Oh, thank you.
So Instagram, private Instagram, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I like the video diary idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
We try to tell people when we teach some classes. Oh, go ahead.
No, a lot of people, they'll say oh, I don't have any content. And, I'm like, if you just sit down and you make yourself do it once a day, you'll start to realize that you look for the content. And once you start looking for the content, then your next natural thing to do is to share it. Like one of my girlfriends, she would love for me to share. She's in the news business, and she would love for me to share my grief content. But I'm not at that point yet where I'm comfortable to put that side of me out there. But what I'm saying is that once you start doing it, you'll realize that it's like a light bulb goes off in your head, and you're like, oh, I could do this the next time I go out, or I could, and you get over the fear. For some reason, people, my husband being one of them, he gets so scared when the phone is right here. And I'm like, why? Who cares? I'm on this thing all day long. So what does it matter whether it's here or up there or down there or,
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you hit on another one. I think that also, and you probably heard Gary Vee talk about this, where instead of worrying about creating content, start documenting all the things around you and what you do on a regular basis. And you'll start getting used to the camera.
How many times do realtors, I've seen all the little funny things that they put up, those little comic strips or whatever you want to call them. They're like, realtors, they don't know what we do all day. They just think that we put a sign in the yard. Well, shoot, start vlogging yourself, show them what you're doing. I could be off going to a Pinky Nose Naples. I did a vlog last week where I was getting ready to go do a Pinky Nose Naples on, some foodie event that was going on. And of course, that's the moment that I get the call to go for a showing. Isn't that how it always happens? Well, I had to go and turn the lights on. So quickly, I jump in the Pink Beetle. I'm doing my vlog. I run over there. And then while I'm doing the vlog, I'm showing them I'm on my way to do Pinky Nose Naples, but I had to stop by and turn the lights on and open the doors. And you know what? There's your tip, trick, and technique for getting your house sold quickly from Pinky, because I know more than just real estate, or no more than Naples. I know real estate. So, you can incorporate the two things, and people appreciate that, because aren't we all being pulled in 5 different directions at any given moment?
Yes,
that's right.
So I like what you said. So what you are doing is you're sharing Naples, you're sharing your community, your community, and what you know about the community. And by the way, I happen to do real estate, right?
Exactly. It's like that annoying music underneath of that you always hear, and then finally when the moment comes that you're like, oh, I need a realtor. Oh, they think pink. It's the annoying music underneath of everything. And eventually I'm hoping that that's where it's going to. Just this month I got my first 2 listings, and actually it was funny. I called a videographer to do my professional video, because at this point, I've gotten, when I was in real estate in Tampa area, I was at the point where I had a videographer who would go out and shoot the videos for me because I just didn't have the time to edit.
Yeah.
And so I call him up, and he wants $500 to do a 1,400 square foot 3-bedroom condo.
Wow.
I'm sure it would be a fabulous video. Don't get me wrong. For $500, you better have all the bells and whistles. But then I thought, you know what? The fabulous Michael Thorne taught me how to edit. And I'm like, I can do this. So I went out, shot everything on my iPhone, had my tripod, my mic, and were there some things that I would have changed? Oh, most definitely. I cut off my head a little bit in a couple of places because I'm trying to make sure the mic reaches to the phone and, and you can still see what I'm talking about behind me. But I put the whole thing together. It took me a couple of hours. And I put it up on Facebook, and it's gotten, I don't know, over 5,000 views within 72 hours of listing and putting it up on Facebook. It got its first offer, and it's already under contract, and it hasn't even been a week.
Wow.
So
Great
power of
job.
video is there. But what was funny is I did put it up in one of those groups that we're in, and I said, let me know what you think. And some gentleman was like, well, you want me to be honest? I'll give you my honest opinion. And this goes back to being who you are,
Yeah.
And the guy's like, your cartoon voice really bothers me.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And then he went on to say, where cutting off my head was very cutting off the top of my head was very distracting. And, and I said, thank you. I appreciate the honesty, and I'm like, the cartoon voice, the cartoon attitude, that's who I am.
Yeah.
So I can't change that, so if you don't like it, then we probably wouldn't work well together, but that's who I am, now the cutting off of the head. Yeah, I'm working on that. And I appreciate that as constructive criticism, but so you're going to hear that. There's always going to be haters. You're never going to get everybody, but embracing the video is going to change the way you do your business. I guarantee it.
Yeah, no, we totally believe video is the way to go. Even Facebook says that, right? That the majority of Facebook will be video within the net. Well, it is now, but within the next couple of years, almost all of it will be.
Well, I do want to cut in here, and we do have a lot of listeners who go to our classes as well. And I want you to hear Pinky and what she's saying about video and what she's doing. She isn't afraid. She jumps on there. She continuously does it on a consistent basis. She practices, right, to perfect her craft, not to the point of being super professional, but being herself. Okay, so I just wanted to relay this information with not Jeff and I speaking, but someone who's using it in real estate, and it's working for her in Naples, Florida, and you're crushing it. You're crushing it.
Hopefully, I hope to crush it someday. Please put that out there.
Well, you're building your brand, and as we were talking about this, I'm thinking we interviewed the podcast already came out. We interviewed an agent here locally with Keller Williams, and she made a decision to do something, and that something was to go to every single Keller Williams event. Okay, so she went to the family reunion and the mega camp and all that stuff, right? And what she did was she went to all these events, and all she would do is meet other agents from other parts of the country, and then she built this referral network. And she told us here in Phoenix, 90% of her business comes from referrals from other agents. And the majority of that is outside of the state.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing you going to all the RE/MAX events. And just think about it. Pinky knows Naples. Think about the referral network you could build from people in Chicago. I know you're already good friends with Sonia up in Chicago. So I'm sure if she knew somebody that was wanting to bail the cold weather and head down south, she'd be on the phone with you in a hurry.
I do have a very good referral base, and I'm very blessed for that. And it's also because, as Katie Lance will say in her books or her social media guides, it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. And to build that referral, you can go and get the cards at convention, but if you don't find them on Facebook or Instagram and then interact with them and talk to them and like them, then you're just throw the card away, because you're doing it's the whole thing all over again. You're not embracing it. You're just like, oh yeah, I know somebody, let me go dig into this pile of cards and see who I can find. Whereas if you said to me, right now, who would I suggest in Cocoa Beach, Florida? I'd say Eric Larkin. Sure. If you want to go over to Boca Raton, I know a bunch of agents over there that work that area as well. If you wanted to go to Chicago or, up to Washington, D.C. And that's what I think the value is really in, is, making sure that you have a strong referral base. It's extremely important.
Definitely. No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Gosh, what was I going to ask about the? I can't remember now.
One of the things with video that I also want, because so many people are scared because they don't want to be in the actual video.
Yeah.
And here's what I would suggest. Just like within the last 2 weeks, whenever Mother's Day was, I went to we did a staycation, and I went to a local resort. And the resort had one of those lazy rivers that goes around it, right?
Right.
So on day 2,
like
I got
your family had a great time, by the way. I remember those posts.
It was fun. It was a great time.
Yeah.
But, as I'm going around the lazy river, I'm like, I want my phone. Like, I can't even go in the lazy river without my phone. So I very bravely take my phone and I get into the little, what do you call it, tube, and I'm floating down and I'm like holding on to my phone for dear life because it's not water resistant or whatever.
You're brave.
And here's where I'm getting is that, people with videos, I took 20 seconds of just floating down the river. And I put it on Pinky Knows Naples, my community page, and it took off. Like, it was crazy, the amount of interaction. People that didn't even like my page are interacting. It's getting shared like 15 times. And it's all because it's like a snapshot of what your life is like. So you never know what's going to touch somebody, and you don't even have to be in it, and that's where it's like, don't be scared to do video. Just take out your phone and start videoing something. I don't care if it's the horse that your kid's riding, because it's after school equestrian class, just take out the phone.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
Oh, that reminds me of what Templeton did.
Oh, yeah.
We interviewed a guy here locally, and his most viral video on Facebook was when his wife talked him into letting her wax his chest. Yeah. He said that thing took off like crazy. Well, she got some new thing in, and she's like, hey, can I test this on your chest? And he goes, only if we Facebook Live that stuff. And sure enough, boom. Now, a local lender reached out to him from that video and said, hey, I love what you're doing. This is awesome. I got a pre-qualified buyer for you. And he goes, wow. Okay.
When you talk about if the branding works, it's funny because you never realize. And it was like over the weekend, I was out in the boat with my aunt and uncle. And my uncle has lived here since the 70s. So he knows everything. He's a good old boy down here in Naples. And so I said to him, I go, Uncle Ben, I'm like, there's a ice cream boat that's over at this island. I'd love to go and see this ice cream boat. And he's like, now, Sue, I've been here. I never saw such a thing. I said, yeah, it's an ice cream boat. So we go over there. The ice cream boat is actually called In the Pink. And I'm Facebook friends with her, and I follow her page on Facebook. I've never met her in person, but we pull up, and my aunt yells like, "Oh, we've got the pink lady on here!" And the lady, Julie, who's in charge of In the Pink boat, she goes, "Pinky Benson's on the boat." Like she knew what, And then when I was like talking about In the Pink, all these people thought that it was my boat, and I'm like, no, there's another pink lady.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. Yeah, for sure. Well, I think I have. I do want to ask this question. So, a lot of people ask about how often should you post real estate versus just regular content when you use Facebook. Do you have a good rule of thumb? I mean, do you try to balance? How do you balance that out, or do you just kind of go with it?
When I first started on Facebook as a realtor, I had two different identities. It was like my Wonder Woman to my Diana Prince. And now pretty much Diana Prince is gone and I only have Wonder Woman. I don't know what that means, but you can just gather what you want from it. And in the early ages of doing Facebook, I used to be very dedicated to doing what realtors do now, which is, putting up their listings. I don't post as much because so many times, like when it comes to real estate, so many times people, like when I had that video out for the new listing, so many people tag me in it anyway. So I kind of feel it's redundant for me to just post it anyway. Now I'll post it on my business page. So I really think it's about knowing where your audience is. And like I said, for a long time, you're going to feel like you're talking to yourself, but they're watching, they're there, they'll come around. And you just have to know your own personal algorithm almost, So for me, it is kind of funny because when I go to do a Pinky Nose Naples, I kind of have to weigh it out and say, okay, am I going to go live from my individual page, or am I going to go from, my business page or my community page? So you kind of got to work around it, and you have to be really aware of what you're posting, and it's not, when you go from being personal side of Facebook to being a business in Facebook, it's a total different mind shift. And I was talking with one of my friends about this, and and he was saying, it's like once you make that shift and you understand how it works, then all of a sudden you're more aware of everything that you're doing on social media world. The people that just go on there because I'm a realtor and they told me I needed to post my listing on Facebook, it's not gonna be like that for much longer. You're gonna have to be more engaging than just, hi, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath to sell you.
All right. No, that's great. That's great. Stuff. All right. So before we ask our final questions, do you have a project you're working on now? A new video or something coming up?
I actually just went out and did a video this morning, and I'm going to try some transitional, like where I go from being in my bathing suit to being in clothes. So. We're going to see how this works. I'm hoping my 14-year-old daughter is going to help me with it. But if I can do this, then there may be a Wonder Woman video coming. If I can figure out how to make this work, I may be able to.
Perfect timing, right? It's coming out soon, too.
Yeah, that's my favorite superhero, by the way.
June 2nd, baby.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Hey, we normally finish off, and now this is with our in-studio interviews, but we normally finish up with you getting in the ring with the Maniacs. Is that cool? You ready for that?
Okay.
You're gonna be fine. No, I just have some kind of rapid fire questions that you can answer. It's pretty straightforward. For example, one. There we go. So, what's the best advice anyone's ever given you, Pinky?
The best advice I've ever gotten was probably from my father, which was never go to bed angry. How's that?
That's a good one.
I like that a lot. I need to tell that to my wife. No, I'm teasing, only teasing. Hey, what's your favorite mobile app? And I have a feeling I know this one, but what would you say?
Probably Facebook, Instagram.
Right. Yeah. How about a book recommendation?
Oh, a book recommendation. I have to go with Katie Lance right now. I'm reading Get Social Smart, which is amazing. And then if, there's other people out there that might be going through a situation like I have with grief, Option B by Sheryl Sandberg is a pretty good book as well.
Option B. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I know Katie. Met her at, what event did I meet her at? Oh, the Social Media Marketing World event.
Social Media Marketing World?
Yeah, so she's got her new book out. Seth Price has his new book out, too, that I
haven't
purchased
gotten that
as well.
one yet.
I got it on Kindle. I don't know I can't remember how much it was, but it's great. It's great. Being a minimalist, I don't like to buy actual physical books that much anymore. So,
gotcha.
Anyway, got it. Yeah. But it's great. It's The Road to Recognition. And it's right down your alley as far as that whole branding concept.
Nice.
You'd love it
as well.
You'd love it. How about your favorite hobby?
Oh, my favorite hobby. I am a big Disney fanatic. I used to work at Disney World, so we have to go there every so often to get my Mickey on. So that would be like my little hobby on the side, is I love little Disney stuff.
Okay. Well, have you heard of Lou Magello? I can't remember his last name. You'll have to look up Walt Disney or WDW Radio. Walt Disney World Radio. This was a presenter at the Social Media World event, and he presented on how to grow your community using Facebook Live. He's won like 9 times straight best travel podcast. All he does is do like Facebook Live and talk about Walt Disney World. They live in the Orlando area now. You'll have to check it out. I'll send you a link or whatever.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
And let's finish up. One last question. How about this? Let's do something fun. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Oh, my goodness. Where would I go? I would say probably Ireland. I have a lot of heritage there, I guess would be ancestry in Ireland. And, I think the green could be changed over to a little pink. I think they could handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That and my husband would probably love to try out all the pubs. So,
There we go. No, I love it. You're such a fun person to have on. It's been a great time. Yes. You're doing some awesome stuff out there. Hey, if agents that are listening, if anybody wants to reach out to you directly, how would they do that? You want to share your contact information?
Yes, let me think about this. It would be Pinky Knows Naples on Facebook, which is my community page. You can find me under Sue Pinky Benson on Facebook. I'm always looking for new friends. No mean people, though. I don't like mean people. And or negative Nellies. I don't want any of that. And then, of course, on Instagram, it's Pinky Knows Naples. And you can find my website, pinkyknowsnaples.com. You see the theme there?
There we go. Well, and hopefully you don't mind that we share about you at a lot of our actual classes and things.
Oh, of course not. Please, by all means. And I'll share away as well. That's what sharing is caring.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. I'll let you get back to your busy day.
All right.
And so we had Sue Pinky Benson, Pinky Knows Naples, here on the Weekly Closer with the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Thanks so much. See you next time.
Thanks, Pinky.